Something inside me and I'm sharing it. I'm just cruising for clarity with a therapist. Hey, let me roll down the window. Hosted by Francisco Castillo. Hey, yeah, you deserve to be heard. Explore what you feel, no stress or concern. Hey, something inside me and I'm sharing it. I'm just cruising for clarity with a therapist. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Cruisin for Clarity. I'm Francisco Castillo, your friendly neighborhood therapist, here to cruise alongside you as we delve into the big questions surrounding life, relationships, and our emotional world. Let me kick things off by posing a question. Have you ever found yourself in a moment of stress or frustration, blurting something out, and then only to immediately think, wow, I sounded just like my mom, or I just reacted exactly like my dad used to? It's kind of funny when you think about it. No matter how hard we try not to turn into our parents, sometimes it feels like little parts of them are hiding inside us, just waiting for the perfect moment to pop out. Here's the cool part. There's a real reason this happens, and it's more than just genetics or habits we've picked up. It's all about something called Bowen's multigenerational transmission process. I know it sounds like a lot and might seem a bit tricky at first, but stick with me and we'll break it down into easy to understand chunks. Trust me, it's going to be an eye-opening ride as we dive into how these patterns are passed down through generations and shape who we are today. Picture this, you get your hands on your great-grandma's all-time favorite recipe. It's like a culinary gem that's been handed down through the family, just like a prized heirloom. Over the years, everyone who's had it has put their own spin on it. Maybe someone added extra spice for a kick, another cut back on salt for health reasons, or someone else tried out different fillings to mix things up. Over the years, all those little tweaks have added up, so the version you're using today might look pretty different from the original. But even with all these changes, the core of the dish, your great-grandma's special touch, is still there. Just like that, we get handed down emotional and relationship recipes from our families on how they handled emotions, relationship habits, and strategies for dealing with life's ups and downs. Unlike the traits we inherit through our DNA, these patterns aren't genetic. They're behaviors we pick up over years of watching and interacting with our family. Bowen's family systems theory gives us some cool insights into this by showing how our emotions are shaped, not just by what happens to us directly, but also by interactions that stretch back generations. It's like a recipe that's been tweaked over time, but still keeps its main flavor. Our emotional reactions and how we relate to others are deeply rooted in our family's past. Why does this awareness matter? It's kind of like tweaking your favorite recipe. By recognizing and understanding these inherited behavior and emotion patterns, we can make conscious choices about them. We get to decide what to keep because it works for us and makes life better, while also figuring out what we might want to change or ditch completely for healthier relationships or personal growth in the future. All right, so we've started to dive into Bowen's theory, which can get a bit abstract and theoretical. But let's hit pause on all that for a moment, because sometimes it's just easier to wrap our heads around things through stories, right? Real life examples make these concepts pop and become much more relatable. So let's take a look at how these emotional patterns play out in real families. Take Eddie as an example. His grandpa Miguel was notorious in the family for having a short fuse. Whenever life threw curveballs and things got stressful, Miguel would just shut down completely. He'd go quiet as a mouse, pull away from everyone like he was retreating into his own world, or he'd lose his patience quicker than you could blink. This behavior left a mark on the family dynamics. Eddie's dad, Robert, grew up watching this unfold time and again, scratching his head over why his father seemed so distant, like he was living behind an invisible wall no one could break through. Determined not to repeat the past, Robert vowed he'd never become like that with his own kids. But as he navigated life's ups and downs and faced stresses of his own, from work pressures to family responsibilities, he found himself slipping into the same patterns without even realizing it. It's like those habits crept up on him when he least expected it. So Eddie's starting to notice that he's behaving in pretty much the same way as his family did. He doesn't explode or raise his voice during disagreements, but when there's tension, he withdraws into himself. becoming quiet and a bit short-tempered, just like his dad and grandpa used to do. It's ironic because Eddie had always vowed he'd be different from them. The funny thing is, Eddie barely knew his grandpa. They weren't really close or anything. Yet somehow these emotional patterns have stuck with him and become a part of his own behavior toolbox. It's almost as if these reactions are stealthily woven into the family fabric, subtly shaping how each generation navigates relationships and copes with stress. It's kind of amazing and a little eerie how these habits seem to trickle down like an unspoken inheritance. Now, let's take a moment to chat about Martha. Growing up, she had her mom, Linda, who always meant well, but couldn't help stepping in whenever Martha hit a snag. Like when Martha got a bad grade at school, Linda would be the first to set up a meeting with the teacher to sort things out. And if there was any friend drama or trouble brewing in Martha's life, Linda would dive right in and take over the conversation for her. While Linda thought she was protecting Martha from life's bumps and keeping her safe, she didn't see that all this intervention was sending an unintended message. Over time, it kind of taught Martha that she couldn't handle or solve problems on her own. This left her feeling like she couldn't trust herself to tackle challenges without her mom jumping in to save the day. So, why did Linda do this? Well, growing up, she had to take care of her sick mom. Imagine having such big responsibilities as a kid. Because of that, she started thinking her value was all about how well she could care for others. Without even realizing it, she repeated this pattern with Martha. At first, Martha didn't notice what was going on and ended up doing the same thing with her daughter, Amy. But then something clicked for Martha. She finally saw the cycle and decided to break it by choosing a new path for herself and Amy. Okay, let's take a breather for a moment. Whether you're behind the wheel or just tuning in while doing something else, let's hit the mental pause button here. I really want you to take a second and ask yourself, what family pattern do you keep finding yourself stuck in, even when it's the last thing you want to do? Maybe it's that all too familiar way you react when a disagreement pops up. Or perhaps it's how you handle stress, juggling it like a hot potato. It could even be the way you show affection, echoing how things were done while growing up. Here's the cool part. Bowen's theory isn't just a random concept. It's actually supported by substantial research. Studies have consistently demonstrated that our emotional habits, which encompass how we manage anxiety, handle conflicts, or maintain healthy relationships, are heavily influenced by the dynamics of our family environment. Researchers who delve into family patterns have uncovered clear and sometimes startling links between the emotional health of parents and their children, with these effects even trickling down to influence grandchildren. So, what does this mean for you? If your parents struggled with maintaining emotional closeness or had difficulty expressing affection openly, chances are you might find yourself facing similar challenges in your relationships. But here comes the hopeful twist. The silver lining in all this research is that these inherited patterns don't seal your fate. With a bit of awareness about these habits coupled with learning new skills and making an intentional effort to change, you can actually reshape your family's emotional legacy for future generations. It's like having a roadmap to break free from old cycles and start fresh on your own terms. Those stories probably hit home for a lot of us because they connect with our own experiences. You might have found yourself nodding along, seeing bits of your life or your family's journey in them. Now, let's take a closer look at ourselves and explore something more personal. It's time to shift from these outside stories to digging into how these themes show up in your own life. One cool tool that therapists use to uncover family dynamics is called a genogram. Think of it like mapping out your family tree, but with added layers showing emotional and relationship details, beyond just who's related to who. A genogram can help spot patterns, relationship styles, emotions, and even conflicts that have been around for generations. If you're thinking, okay, I get it, now what do I actually do? Great. You're asking the right question. This is where therapy comes in handy for personal growth. It offers a safe space where you can understand these generational patterns without fear or judgment. Not about blaming anyone or getting stuck in the past, but about recognizing what emotional habits you're carrying today. A therapist can help you create a genogram while offering support and practical skills along the way. Through therapy sessions, you'll learn better ways to communicate with others, handle conflicts peacefully, manage emotions constructively, and break free from cycles that don't serve you anymore, all helping build stronger relationships and leading to a more fulfilling emotional life. Remember that reaching out to a therapist isn't just about tackling problems. It's also about opening up new possibilities for personal development, giving yourself permission and tools needed to shape the emotional future you've always wanted on your terms. Understanding your emotional inheritance is more of an empowering adventure than a blame game. It's about realizing that our parents and grandparents probably did their best with what they had back then. Just picture them trying to figure things out without all the info and tools we have today. Now we've got the chance to break free from old patterns by making smart choices with fresh insights. If today's talk got you curious about your family's patterns, it might be worth digging deeper. Have a chat with someone you trust. Sometimes just talking it out can clear things up. Or maybe reach out to a family therapist who knows this stuff. They can really help as you explore your history and future. Remember, emotional inheritance doesn't have to drag you down like an anchor. Think of it as a map guiding you toward healthier relationships. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today. Until next time, stay connected and keep cruising toward your own clarity.
Stay tuned in, I hope you're coming back. A place you can grow, vibe out and relax. Time to get clarity, time to find joy. Find your inner self, discover and explore. Ayy, yeah, cruising for clarity with a therapist.